all today. Let us take a collective breath, once again affirming our oneness with each other, our city, our state, and our world. Breathe that in. Today, we reflect on the bodies. Despite the obvious, our bodies allow us to breathe in the divine and to expel that essence into the world. What is about to occur, our celebration, is a blessing, and in preparation, we silently make our intention with the God of our understanding, realizing just how blessed we are. We now open our hearts and step into the flow of our celebration, fully present. Thank you, God, and so it is.
And so it is. She's getting so good at that, I'm starting to get intimidated to come up after her. I'm glad my stuff is set. Okay. We are an interfaith gathering, a spiritual community that honors all teachings and all spiritual teachers. So we're going to begin that ceremony that celebrates this oneness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths come from the one universal presence in which we call spirit. And I'm so excited about our candle lighter today. She's back in town, Cindy Hensley. I just feel like the wattage of the church goes up 50% when she's here. So we're going to begin with the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. Shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of pristine spirituality. Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. Buddhism, which honors the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. New Thought, us, woohoo! Honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And then our most precious candle, the healing candle of love. And we invite you in the stillness of your own mind to bring to awareness the names of anyone that you wish to be included in this healing flame of love and of light. And so now that our flames of faith are fully lit, we move forward into our celebration, realizing and reaffirming that all paths lead to God. Thank you, Cindy. So it is the first of the month, and so we like to remind ourselves of our purpose, vision, and mission statement. So please, with gusto, let's state the intention that this spiritual community has. And so our purpose is to
awaken and inspire love and oneness.
Our vision, we are an
Empowered, uplifting, inclusive community.
And of course, our mission, how are we going to do that?
Teach spiritual transformation with grace and joy.
It's so easy to be joyful when it's 80 degrees out, right? Our inspirational quote for today, and I have to say that I have gotten more comments about the title of today's talk than I've ever gotten prior to the actual talk, so looking forward to this one. No pressure, Rev. The body is the house in which, for the present, you are living. And you need to keep it in good repair by a right mental attitude towards it, experiences, and people. Your body is entitled to your respect. And so now, back to this amazing choir.
Shine your light, let your love be bold and bright, a flame that lights your darkest night. Shine your light, be the best that you can be, shine for all humanity, love your neighbor, you and me. Shine your light, shine your light, let your love be bold and bright, a flame that lights your darkest night. Shine your light. Somehow when I say yes, it's a choice to blame or bless, plus or minus, more or less. Shine your light. Shine your light, let your love be bold and bright, a flame that lights your darkest night. Shine your light. Sometimes life can knock me down, but I will not despair. When I fall, you lift me up with the power of your prayer. Here we go, now we start. Everybody has their part. Show the world what's in your heart. Shine your light. Shine your light, let your love be bold and bright, the flame that lights your darkest night. Shine your light, the flame that lights your darkest night. Shine your light.
Love that. Shine your lights. Thank you. Look at this choir. Oh my God. And they have promised me that if the temperatures stay at this level, that we're gonna have a nude Sunday soon.
Didn't we do that over Facebook?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Reverend Rachel's coming, so you know it's on the. So people are talking about it. But let's talk about prayer. So how does prayer work? Lynn and Marion prayed that someone would come and show up and help weed their garden. They said that prayer out loud, and it got to me. So somebody who doesn't weed or have a garden went over to help weed a garden. And since I didn't know what I was doing, I prayed for Dana to show up. Which she did. And then, after I got viciously attacked by a rose garden, and perhaps my prayers around that rose garden were not positive, I prayed for my own healing. And that's how prayer works. Somebody has a need, they have a want, whether it be something really intense like a physical problem, or whether it just be as easy as, I need some help in my garden. That's how prayer works. So, in this center, in this place, we know that, and we utilize it. So I invite all of you, whatever your prayer is, whether it's small or whether it's large, reach out to each other. Just ask. and it'll happen. I guarantee you. You can tap a practitioner on the shoulder. We've got a bunch of them here today, including Cindy Hensley. Of course, we have Dawn and Ann. We've got Judy in the back. Lovely prayers, by the way. We have Robert. And Ann Lazenby is in the house. If you haven't had a prayer from Ann Lazenby, catch her today. The second way is that we do have the written prayer requests. And the third way is, of course, prayers always happen at 3 in the morning, so go to our website and submit them. But guys, we know how this works, don't we? So let's use it. So one of the other prayers that has been answered, but first before I get that, we, as you all know, you've heard us talking about this, 5% of our tithe goes to an organization within our community. And so this month, your generous giving is flowing to the organization called Facing Foster Care. So, are you guys excited? Does everybody know Reverend Rachel's coming? I mean, like everybody?
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God, Reverend Rachel's coming. And so we're going to get a ton of Reverend Rachel. So this is what's going to happen. July 4th, you're going to go see your favorite fireworks that are visible in the daylight. Then Tuesday, you're going to take a nap. And then Wednesday, you're coming here for a book study with Reverend Rachel about her book about depression. Everybody's invited. So Wednesday night, you're going to be here. Thursday night, you're going to take a nap. Because Friday night, we're going to have a concert. Reverend Rachel and her musical friends are coming to do a concert. So all of you who've been here for a while and some of that music we haven't heard for a while, Friday night, so come join us for that. And then Saturday, take a nap. Because Sunday, Reverend Rachel is not only going to share her experiences through doing the talk. There's rumors she might do some music. She's going to bless us with her presence. And then we are going to go back to doing what we do best in this center. Do you know what that is? Eat! We're going to do a parking lot potluck. So, does everybody got that? Activity, nap, activity, nap, activity, nap. Food. All right. Seriously, if you don't know Reverend Rachel, you want to know her. If you already know Rachel, then you know that you're already got a seat. So, we're looking forward to that. But before we even get to any of that, next Sunday, there's a wild rumor that one of our other practitioners is in town. And so next Sunday, Camille and Kaleem are doing the talk together. And then and the title of the talk is something, the power and the feeling of wow. So Monday night, they're going to follow that up with a gathering, an hour gathering here called Spiritual Solutions for Everyday Living. That sounds interesting, doesn't it? So, we're back. We're open, and we're at 1,000%. So I'm looking forward to getting to spend some time with all of you, eating food and listening to Rachel, Kaleem, and Camille. But before we get to that, we have a minister's moment. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. You noticed this morning we did the purpose, vision, and mission statements. We have only been doing those the first Sunday of each month, and it's not because we don't think that it's important to keep those items in the forefront of our consciousness. It is simply because I observed that people were just rotating, blah, 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 blah. It wasn't coming from a place of understanding and feeling of what we did, and we've got more to do than just get up and recite things. So I decided that I would just do that the first Monday of each, or the first Sunday of each month. I read an article earlier this week that really sunk into me, and it talked about a CEO of a company, and he noted that the mission statement of his company wasn't really transferred down to everyone within the organization. They could all get up and recite it, but nobody had it really in their heart. And that reminded me of a story that I heard a long time ago. JFK was inspecting the launch facilities at Cape Canaveral. And he had made his declaration that we will put a man on the moon by the end of the decade. And as he toured this facility, he came into one room and there was a janitor. And he was sweeping and cleaning and collecting the trash and whatnot. And the President of the United States asked this janitor, "What are you doing? Why are you here so late at night?" And the man turned and said, "Well, we're sending a man to the moon." He understood what the mission was. The mission is to get a man on the moon. You may be wondering what this has to do with our mission statement, to teach spiritual transformation with grace and joy. And I want to explain that right now. You may be thinking, well, I don't teach classes. I'm not a practitioner. I don't do any of those things. I don't teach spiritual transformation. But oh, you are so wrong. Just as that janitor was an important cog, maybe a small cog, but an important cog in the wheel of getting a man on the moon, so too each and every one of you are important, and I submit very large cogs in teaching spiritual transformation. And the way that happens is because you live your life according to these principles. When you live your life according to these principles, and you can experience the things that we are able to, that we do here each week when we talk about this. We talk about the power of prayer. We talk about all the things that we do. You are living your life from a place of principle, and it encourages people around you to say, God, I want some of what she's got. I want that happiness. I want that joy. I want to be able to live that life. And so the way you can be that cog in our mission statement is by living the principles that we teach. And in doing so, you enrich your own life. And my second point then is we have a great, wonderful opportunity to do that coming up with Reverend Rachel. She's going to be here. She's going to talk about a subject that doesn't draw all kinds of people. She's going to talk about depression. Now, a lot of people don't talk about it, but a lot of people experience it. Whether you experience it directly or you're married to or know someone, good friend, who is experiencing depression. And this gives us an opportunity to unpack that topic and to experience it, to how we can live with it, around it, in a more productive way, so that we can all teach and become spiritual transformation with grace and joy. And that is the moment. Now we have music.
Talking with my neighbor about the world situation and the things that we were saying made us listen to each other. We've heard so many statements
Thank you, choir. Aaron, that's beautiful. Thank you for putting this together. The music certainly supports our theme. Welcome to the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you for all of you who are here today. It's great to see everyone. And thank you for those of you who are on Facebook Live. Tuning in is indeed an honor to be invited into your home. So thank you. We appreciate your attention very much. Our theme for the year is Everyday Wonder. And I really like that theme because that's what this philosophy is all about. It's not about high theological things and everything. It's simple principles to help us live our lives every day, to live a more productive, joyful life. Everyday wonder. And so we've had different monthly themes. You know, last month was emotions and how our emotions are signposts along the highway of life, and they can tell us when to take an exit and when to make a right turn and when to merge. And this month we're going to talk about our bodies. That's going to be fun. And as many of you know, sometimes I like to start with a story. So this is a story about a psychologist, a true story, who worked with teen clients primarily. And he happened to be working with two teen clients with very similar backgrounds. They were both juniors in high school. They were both good students with a high grade point average. They both came from comfortable home lives. They were the same race. They lived in the same general area of town. So much about them was the same. The two women, though, seemed drastically different when they came to the psychologist's office. The doctor noticed that the first client was happy and relaxed and well-adjusted, generally doing well emotionally. She felt connected to her family and friends. She handled challenges with grace. And she looked forward to her future. She played on the high school softball team. She felt comfortable in her own skin. Now, the second young woman struggled. She was anxious and sad. She didn't feel like she fit in. She struggled with an eating disorder, and she felt that she wasn't just right. She disliked herself. She disliked the body that she lived in. With therapy and a great deal of work, she was able to heal a lot of these things, and she became more comfortable, but it took a lot of work. Now, this psychologist reflected on these two young women, and the main difference that she could find between them was that the relationships that they had built with their bodies from an early age. The first young woman had developed a relationship where she partnered with her body. She used it to play sports. She was aware of the sensations it felt. She gave it what it told her that it needed. The second, however, had always viewed her body as a thing of somehow separate from her, that she was stuck with it. She didn't like it, but she couldn't get rid of it, so she punished it. She held it to unreasonable standards, and she told it that it wasn't good enough. And she suffered. The conclusion that this psychologist came to was that those of us who have healthy relationships with our bodies, who treat them as partners, who look after our needs, and really integrate ourselves with our body, have a more stable and more fulfilling life. We're better able to adapt as we have a friend right there with us, our body. Instead of looking at our body as separate from us, linking it together with ourself and taking good care of it, listening to it, and respecting makes all the difference. So the title of my talk today is Loving This Body, and I have two major points. First, I'm going to talk about how your body is perfect, just as it is. And number two, your body is a temple of the divine. First of all, your body is perfect just as it is. Perfection is inherent in our bodies. An acorn does not have to say, I intend to become an oak tree. Marianne Williamson said, I love this, natural intelligence intends that every living thing become the highest form of itself. Natural intelligence intends that every living thing become the highest form of itself. And our very own Ernest Holmes said, our body is some part of the body of God. It is a manifestation of the Supreme Spirit. Our body is part of the body of God. It is a manifestation of that infinite creative force. Just as the divine creative force of the universe made countless varieties of flowers and trees and fish and birds, so too it made endless different body types. In front of our cabin was an enormous spruce tree. That thing must have been 60, 70 feet tall. It was magnificent. It was perfectly formed. I mean, the branches were just, it was a beautiful, beautiful tree. And we loved to look at that tree. In nature's way, it ended up being food for the spruce bark beetles. And we lost that tree. But just next to that magnificent tree was a stand of alders. Nasty old alders. You can't get the snow machine through them. You got to come in with chainsaws and hack them out of the way so you can get these ugly old alders. Don't flower. They're not. But those alders were the favorite food of the moose. Each one of these trees had its own perfect reason, its own perfect thing. And I submit that you are no different. You are perfect just as you are. Now, some people have been taught to dislike or even hate their bodies. I can't help but think of Madison Avenue or whatever it is today, I don't know. But the advertising that goes on in the world, we see it all the time. And particularly with women's products, but it's men too, it's everybody. They hit us with expectations of how we should look, how we should be. You know, if only I could be 6 feet tall. And we try to live up to these. We end up apologizing for our bodies. We try to force them into acceptable ideals. Well, if I could just lose another 10 pounds, well, I have been fighting for, 3 months now, so that Tuesday morning when I get on the scales to get on that float plane, I'm going to be under 200. Now, I don't know if I'm going to make it or not, but it's going to be close. But I'm trying to pour myself into that plane's not going to make any difference if I'm 200 or 201 or 27. Fixating on an ideal body robs us of the joy and delight that our body gives us. We tend to ignore or put down our bodies, particularly in this movement where we talk about spiritual things. And oh boy, isn't it great to do all of these spiritual things. We are the center for spiritual living. And sometimes we give a sense of superiority to things spiritual and a sense of less important to things physical, like our body. I submit that the best body is the body that is here and now. Our bodies are the vehicle by which we experience our emotions and feelings. All those emotions we talked about last month are experienced through our bodies. And then we act on those. And so we think about that. Oh, God. Not only I wish I was 6 feet tall, but only if I had Kevin Norton's hair. Oh, Wouldn't that be awesome? What if I had a physique like Robert or a round head like Kaleem? Well, you know, always wishing that I had something more or was different. And in that, I'm sending a message to my body saying, your body is no good. You are too short, too bald, too round. Or am I sending signals to my body saying that you are okay? You are just what you need to be. And what signals does your body send back? Does it send back joy, happiness, laughter, or does it send back pain? Earlier in the week, oh boy, I was walking around all bent over. It sure wasn't joy and happiness. Another story. A woman went to a healing retreat at a temple near her home. The theme of the retreat was awakening to the sacred nature of our bodies. Now, this woman was not comfortable in her body. She felt like it took up too much space. She felt like she was too large, and she wanted to be smaller in every aspect. However, she knew a lot of the people that were attending, and she knew them well enough to know that she wasn't going to be judged or put down. And so she screwed up all of her courage and signed up for it. It made me think of our center, and I can just think, because that atmosphere of safety is what we strive for in every single class. Any of the teachers, the instructors we have in our classes, more than anything else, we strive to create an atmosphere of safety. And she felt that she would have that atmosphere, so she signed up. Well, on one of the nights after their meal, they went to the evening workshop. She found that this evening's workshop, they were going to dance. Not all dance together. Linda's famous for this, getting into that. What does she have us do? I don't know. But individually and up in front of everybody. Everybody sitting around. And as that was presented, the beads of sweat started popping out. Boy, I can identify with that. That's what I'd be doing. And she was so distraught, she couldn't even watch what anybody else was doing. She just sat there in total fear. And sooner or later, around the turn came, and it was her turn. She was to get up and dance with everyone sitting around. And she got up, and she was filled with terror and anxiety and shame. Ashamed of her body, ashamed of everything. No rhythm. And she just sat there, hugging herself, and didn't move for the entire song, with streams of tears pouring down her face. At the end of the song, no one spoke a word. But what they did was amazing, because what they did is they got up and they hugged her. Each and every person hugged her. And later she reported that in that moment she felt a transformation about her relationship to her body, because she realized that the people in that room, the people in that workshop, the people that were there to love her unconditionally. It didn't make any difference how well she danced or anything at all, or not dance at all. They loved her anyway, no matter how much space she took up. And it was a moment of transformation for her in her life that she would never forget. Point number 2, your body is a temple of the divine. Everything that exists, everything, including our bodies, does so in order that God or Spirit or the thing itself, the universe, your higher power, whatever you want to call it, may fully express itself. So who are you to dismiss the divine? Who are you to say, and I use this term all the time, the divine made everything perfect in the entire universe except you. And you messed up. You were the only mistake that God ever made. Who are you to judge the divine? Our bodies are miraculous. Absolutely miraculous. And I had a whole bunch of different things I was going to say, but the one that came to the surface for me is our eyes. Our eyes are the most amazing organ that can be imagined. They open up, they've got a pupil that gauges the amount of light that can come in. They capture this light on the back of some highly, highly specialized nerves in the back, rods and cones, and some are doing colors and some are doing intensity of light. They're doing all of these different things, and then they coalesce it into a nerve ending that comes and goes to your brain where it's upside down, and your brain turns it right side back up and interprets it and have it all happen. And how all of this happens through these highly, highly specialized cells is amazing. And our eyesight is nowhere near that of some of the birds of prey. There are animals with far superior eyesight. Most animals have far superior senses of smell. But our bodies are absolutely amazing things, things that are almost like too much for us to even believe that we have. And in that, our bodies deserve our respect. I submit that we come closer to and love Source, God, by coming closer to and loving ourselves, including our bodies. So, got a little exercise for everybody. All week, when you get out of the shower in the morning, stand in front of your mirror in your total birthday suit, and you look at all 2,000 parts. Isn't that what it was, the soap they had 2,000? You just look at yourself for 60 seconds. And you pay attention to yourself. And you look yourself in the eye. And you watch yourself. And you hold it for 60 seconds. You can set your phone up for a timer. And at the end of 60 seconds, you just simply say, I love you. And then you say, thank you. Try that all week. And so today you get the treat. I have a poem for you. I don't do poems very often. Once or twice a year. This is by Holly Holden. And the title of the poem is, Today I Asked My Body What She Needed. Today I asked my body what she needed, which is a big deal considering my journey of not really asking that much. I thought she might need more water, or protein, or greens, or yoga, or supplements, or movement. But as I stood in the shower reflecting on her stretch marks, her roundness where I would like flatness, her softness where I would like firmness, all of those conditioned wishes that form a bundle of never quite rightness, she whispered gently, could you just love me like this? So our conclusion today, what I want you to take away, what happened to the clock? Our clock's gone. Take away. How amazing it could be, how amazing how amazing it is to dive into the wonders of our body, to truly accept and love and sit in awe of everything our body is capable of. Instead of using the power of our mind to tell our body that it is somehow wrong or to reject it as outside of what is spiritual, We must learn to embrace our bodies for giving us the opportunity to live in a physical world in a holy spiritual way. God is as much in the body as it is in the heart. And by honoring and loving our bodies, we have a richer experience of the divine. And so, with this awareness of our own inherent divinity, our own inherent perfection, I invite my colleagues to join me in prayer for our community, our spiritual community, the Greater Anchorage community, for the world, in simply recognizing that that infinite power that is God is indeed around, through, and as everything and everyone. And as we go through life, rather than putting ourselves down, putting our bodies down, we can accept our bodies for exactly as they are. 10 pounds and all. We can do the miraculous. For that infinite creative force has made us exactly as we are. And as exactly as we are is just what we are to be. So as we go through this thing called life and we experience this feeling of separation from one another and separation from God, we can simply fall back on our awareness that that infinite creative force that is God can never be separate from us because it is within us. We are products of the divine. As we experience sometimes the appearance of lack and limitation and not enoughness, we can relax and know that everything that we need is already at our fingertips. That infinite creative force of the universe has already taken care of us in every way. And as we experience things that may appear to be dis-ease, we can relax in knowing that there is something that's greater than the disease, and that something is within each and every one of us. And that is the something that we call on. We give thanks for our awareness of the inherent power and presence of God. And now we can just step back. We can let the divine work through us, as us, and let it go, let it be, and so it is. I know God in everything. Now it's the time in the service where we are afforded the opportunity to participate in the law of circulation. Some of the people that we have on with us today online, we have Pamela Bowman, Anne-Marie Moylan, Luann Pogue, Mark Wolgamuth, Quinn Maudry, Cynthia George, Dana Danford, Liz Clark, Patty McCrary, Kathleen Kaiser. We're getting enough that the font's getting smaller. We're either going to have to get the clipboard closer. Okay. Thank you for joining us today and participating with us. For those of you who may be new here, we have Judy, who is doing our collection, and she has 2 baskets. It's not because she expects to collect so much money. It's because we have one basket where we receive and the other basket in which we give. And we have a basket for affirmations, and you're invited, whether you make a donation or not, doesn't make any difference. Please take an affirmation, and it is so awesome the way it works out, because so many times that affirmation is just what you needed for this day, this week. So join me in reciting our group affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source. God is my source, God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source, God is my power. God is my source.
Man, every Sunday these guys show up, and it just completely changes how this service unveils. So
Yes.
give it again to the choir. All right. So in closing today, each tree has its own purpose, as we do. Are you allowing the annoying bugs of I should be thinner, taller, more in fit, drowned out the amazing gifts that your alder branches bring to your life? Our body is some part of the body of God. Your body is a gift. So will you open this present from God and see the moose and dance even if people are watching?
Yes.
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 So please help me anchor this prayer in this knowingness by saying, and so it is. In our affirmation today, let's say this with gusto. Are you ready? I love me.
I love me.
Just as I am.
Just as I am.
And so it is.
And so it is.